Welcome along to the latest in our Lockdown Vodcast series, sponsored by Green King. Once again, it's a classic IPA for me. This week, we thought we'd dive into the inner sanctum of the PCA and find out what has been going on during the pandemic, what challenges the game and the organisation face as we come out the other side. My guests are all fully entrenched in the PCA. Chairman Daryl Mitchell, who's also, of course, Worcestershire's opening batsman and former captain. Chris Rushworth, Durham stalwart, opening.
Thanks, folks. All the better for getting back training and cricket on the horizon. It's been a weird time, I should say. It's certainly been something that none of us are used to, isn't it? And I guess from a personal perspective, the homeschooling has been probably my biggest challenge over the recent months. And then from a PCA perspective, obviously it's been tough. It's been difficult. There's been a lot going on. Obviously, sitting on various ECV workforces, COVID task force, cricket committee deciding the rules and regs once we did get cricket up and running. I guess as an organisation, it's been very difficult. Obviously, the commercial side has been decimated. The charity as well, the Professional Cricketers Trust, has obviously lost a huge amount.
Yep. Just a couple of weeks ago, I think I saw a couple of members and things on social media. Couldn't, for whatever reason, couldn't get to the ground to pick up this year's memberships and yearbooks and things like that. So I thought I'd try and lend a hand, and if anyone needed anything picking up and delivering, then I would go help them out and deliver. Thankfully, only a couple of people got in touch, and it wasn't sort of 500 members split across the northeast. But hopefully I've done a good deed and helped a few people out.
Yeah, I can imagine a few of your teammates trying to rustle up a few members to see you out for 2 weeks solidly in car delivering stuff all around the northeast. But that's a nice touch. And how have the rest of your teammates been?
I think everyone's been pretty good. To be honest, I think a lot of our squad are quite young lads, so they've been able to keep themselves active. Like myself, like Mitch, homeschooling was for the first 5 or 6 weeks of lockdown was nigh on impossible task, which I think we as a family kind of eased off pretty quickly.
How old are your kids?
7 and 5.
I thought you might have that in your locker, the 7 and 5, but no.
No, not quite. I think that it wasn't the work; it was trying to keep them interested, and because we weren't their teachers, they just had no interest in listening. So it was all outdoor fun and exercise, which was, it's time we'll never get back. So thankfully we got to do something special.
And Woody, obviously you're in touch with the players that you kind of look after and represent in your personal development manager role. I mean, what have, other than obvious PlayStations and Xboxes, what have cricketers kind of been up to? Have they been making the most?
They have faults. I mean, to be fair, when it started early March, we identified it as it could be a 4-week window, it could be 6-8 weeks. We never thought it was going to be so long. And credit to every player, because I think they've all attacked that space. And I think in the early phases, people were jumping on short courses and just taster courses because they always thought we'd win a kit. And I think that's led to a lot of development ideas, business ideas. I mean, although the players have missed a huge amount of cricket, from a development point of view, we actually think that they will gain something in this space, even if it's just like Rushy and the older players with homeschooling and facing different challenges. So I think every player will have their own little story, but it's something that they've used the time well.
And Mitch, we all know players that like a bit of rain from time to time. Getting off the park for a day or two is not a bad thing, but it's been a long time now. How do you think the playing group has, we've heard from Woody there about making the most of their time, but they're going to be players who are out of contract. They're going to be players who...
Yeah, it's been, from a mindset point of view, I personally found it quite difficult. I know a lot of the lads at Worcester have, is that you have that date in your mind of the 12 minutes. I found that probably one of the most difficult things to deal with. Everything just kept getting put back and put back and put back. And once you had that sort of 1st of August date that when that was announced, I think that just sort of relieved a little bit of that, and everyone was just looking forward to getting back to doing some sort of cricket chain and getting back with the lads and getting them together and getting on with it. But from a contracts point of view, obviously Rushy's a rep. We've had a lot of Zoom meetings over the course of the lockdown period, and it's certainly been those guys, the most vulnerable guys, the ones who are out of contract this year, has certainly been at the heart of everything we've done really as a reps group regarding players' cuts and things. So we've tried to put as much of a safety net in as we possibly can. We've secured the futures fund for this year. We've got agreement for the new standard contracts, which obviously gives a couple of months' salary at the end of their contracts once they expire as well, to give a little bit of a window. The contract dates have changed, so the contracts now run to the end of October, and there's two months on top of that. So effectively, once the season ends and your contract ends, you still get salary for October, November, and December now, which is obviously a huge benefit when you're looking to move in of security there. I think one of the main reasons, and the reps have been brilliant with this, is the main reasons for volunteering these cuts is hopefully to try and keep some money within the counties, to enable them to keep as many of those players on as possibly can, and try and maintain as many jobs as we possibly can. I think throughout the whole thing, the PCA's priority number one has obviously been health and well-being of everyone, but then secondly is trying to maintain jobs and keep as many players in the game as we possibly can.
Rushy would normally have 70 wickets by now, 1st of August. I would have loved to have started the season 1st of August. I mean, as an opening bowler who prides himself on kind of nipping it away, early season, exploiting all that moisture that's in the pitches, Rushy, just how much are you looking forward to these next couple of months?
To be honest, like I say, although we are in the sort of the peak of summer and the wickets generally would be a little bit flatter and better for batting, I can't wait to get going. It's just a shame Worcester on in our group for the next couple.
It doesn't matter what time of year is it, the Riverside, does it? Goes all over the hockey or whatever month.
Yeah, it's a mind game, that one. I just think the excitement around getting back playing and training, I think regardless of sort of performances and results and that, although you want to try and do well and you want to get off to a winning start and things, I think everyone around the country is just glad we're actually going to get some meaningful cricket. Yeah,
I mean, was it going to be 5 championship matches? I guess it's not a county championship, it's the Bob Willis Trophy that people are playing for. Some players are going to be absolutely crucial. They're the only shop window, especially red ball cricketers, are going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Just following on from what Mitch was saying, I think the PCA and Mitch himself have done a fantastic job throughout that sort of last three and a bit months, keeping everyone in the loop. The contact between counties and sort of and PCA and clubs and all the pay cuts and things, I don't envy him one bit. I imagine he's been a very busy man, but like I say, they've done a fantastic job. And I know us as a group of players really appreciate their support. And like I say, guys who are in the last year, they have a massive point to prove. Lots of people want to go out there, score runs, take wickets, and they are playing for the future. And to be honest, with a 5-day final at Lord's,
reported that there was going to be a final at Lord's, but for someone who played all formats but would have prided himself as a kind of championship opening batter
and especially up north, Rushy will back me up. The 4-day game is the ultimate, and I think whenever there were a chance to get back playing, there was always going to be a demand to play some form of 4-day cricket. And I think it's the best form of cricket where players can get into the game. A 50 over blast or 300 ball day out, you've got a 4-day game where you can actually make a significant impact. And with players out of contract and coming up and missing so much of the season, I think lads will really embrace the longer version coming back, and then that should tee everybody up for the blast at the back end, which hopefully they can get some crowds in and the players will get that feeling back.
Let's talk PCA, because Mitch alluded to it earlier. The commercial side of the PCA is an events business. I mean, there's no events anywhere at the moment. All events businesses, I guess, are struggling. How is morale? A lot of people on furlough. They're still in kind of regular touch.
The whole lockdown created a tighter bond for us. I've been there. There's a general feeling of, we will need everybody at some stage when this gets back to normal. It's a thriving organisation, and I think, it's taken a blow like a lot of businesses have, but it's about we've stuck together well, and I think we will need everybody to come back and make it count for next year and beyond. And I think the role that the commercial play in building the funds benefits people like Rushy and the actual become far now, folks. I play a little bit of golf, but I tell you what, we have noticed we've missed the local stuff. You know, the idea that you can go up midweek or the kids go up and you took for granted that you could go to a game on a Saturday or a Sunday and just watch some and meet some people, you know. So I think club cricket coming back is a big plus. I don't particularly miss it, folks, to be fair. I still, I've joined an even more frustrating game now in golf, so that's keeping me busy.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same. And Mitch, obviously you got the championship. We mustn't forget about the Blast either. That's going to crop up at the end of August. Worcester have had a fantastic record in that. You'll be coming off your long run, no doubt, and sending down the 60-mile-an-hour stuff, and then coming in the middle order and finishing games off. I mean, that's that.
Really, Red Bull cricket. I think we were poor last year. Very disappointed the way we went about our stuff, and didn't even challenge for anywhere near sort of promotion from Division 2. So I think there's been a lot of emphasis on Red Bull cricket this year throughout the winter. So this is a good opportunity in this sort of 5-game block to try and put some of that into practice and hopefully personally knock up some hundreds and get some wins for Worcester. And yeah, like Rushy says, that carrot of a Lord's final is something that I'm sure excites every county cricketer.
Well, I wish you and Rushy all the best on the field, and I thank you all for joining us as well, and keep up the good work looking after the players. To Matthew Wood, to Daryl Mitchell, to Chris Rushworth, thank you very much, gentlemen. Hopefully catch you on a boundary edge before too long.